Coming at you live from DNHQ in beautiful South Pasadena, California, also known as 110 Studio. Visit us, 110studio.la. This is the Blue Heaven Podcast. What is going on, Dodgers Nation? My name is Clint. You can find me as Real FRG on the Twitter and the Instagram. That gentleman is DMac_LA, Doug McCain. Guys, he celebrated a birthday on Friday. We had Cody on Monday. We have Doug on Friday, which means we're celebrating Doug today, but they couldn't handle their liquor, so we're not going to drink on today's show. But let us know where you're representing Dodgers Nation tonight. Drop into the comments. Let us know your what is it? Zip codes, area codes, codes, not zip codes. I want area codes. 3 numbers are much easier to read. Doug, how the hell are you, my friend?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. Another year older, another year wiser. Actually, just first the older part, but I'm happy to be here. It's a great day. 59 days until opening day. There's been 16 Dodgers that wore number 59. How about our boy Ishmael Valdez?
Give me Kelly Wunsch.
Kelly Wunsch is a good one. How about Evan Fireman Phillips, Bill Kruger? But yeah, getting excited, closing in on spring training. Got Fan Fest this week. Baseball is in the air. I'm telling you, baseball's in there. I can see it. I can feel it. I can smell it. I can smell
balls.
It's happening. I mean, the end of the football season, that's how you know baseball's on the horizon.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, some of you guys out at Fan Fest this weekend.
Yeah.
If not, we hope to see some of you guys out at spring training. We'll be out there in about a month. Actually, we'll be wrapping up almost in about a month from now, but we'll be out February 21st through March 3rd. So come out, find us, buy Doug several beers. He's bad at drinking. On today's show, we're going to be talking about a bevy of things. We're talking about opening day starters because why not? We're just that much more excited about baseball almost being here. We got some infield outlook. We got to talk Muncy. We got to talk Lux. We got to talk a little bit about Andrew Friedman, what he said on the radio machine over the weekend. We got a giveaway. We got to talk about umpiring and officiating and really all of sports. So that's coming up a little bit later. We have I wanted to do some bold predictions for February, see if we can make some assholes out of ourselves. But first, let's get into some comments, guys. And don't forget, we are on the internet. Go find our podcasts if you want. Blue Heaven Podcast, just search it. You could probably find us. We're on iTunes, Spotify, everywhere your podcasts are available for free. We are there. Do subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/Dodgers Nation TV. Hit the bell, leave a like, leave a comment. All that stuff helps us survive. So find some comments, good sir.
We got Dave Zander. No way we make the postseason this year. LOL. Mr. Positivity. We got Greg, Palo Cedro, California. We got Daniel from Mexico City. We've got Brett Hartley from the 775. Ron from the 208. Greg Osterberg. Happy birthday, DMAC. Craig, one of 2 comments on our Chris Taylor video. Appreciate you as always, Mr. Osterberg, rocking with us. But yeah, we got Fly Eagles Fly from Alberto.
Hey,
the birds.
Doesn't Noah owe us one, or what's going on here?
We did have a bet. Noah, of course, a 49ers fan. He was upset. He complained about the officiating, the 40-winers. I mean, the 49ers.
Damn.
I mean, anyway.
Dropping facts.
Yeah.
Damn. But you know what? From Niners fans, I have heard a lot of crying. It's relatively justified, but you know what?
They could have had prime Joe Montana in that one. The Eagles were going to fly. Prime Steve Young.
That's right. Thank you, Alberto. I think you got Nick. We got 818. We got 559 from, or it says MH, so I don't know. 775-208. Ron Bates checking in. We got, I guess MH is checking in from the Fresno, the 559. Daniel, Mexico City. We got Palo Cedro with Mr. Greg. Dave says no way we make the postseason this year. What?
We got a what happened to Eric?
Oh man, they can hardly recognize him.
You're gonna want to sit down.
Yeah.
All right. What else we got? Doug, no, it's just Doug is straight dropping lies. That's
or the lies. Stop the lies.
Stop the lies. All right. Anyways, what do you want to talk about first, Chief? I'm gonna leave this on you.
Yeah, let's get right into the infield talk. I think it's really interesting what Andrew Friedman had to say when he was on MLB Network with Jim Bowden. Of course, if whatever
Best
he
friend.
says, it comes true. But he was quoted as saying that Andrew Friedman was talking about his predictions on how the infield will look for the Dodgers for this upcoming season. And he was quoted as saying Lux at short, if I had to guess right now, with Muncy at third and Vargas at second. But we're going to let spring training play out and not go with firm thoughts on exactly how it shakes out. We feel really good about the group we have and the flexibility and the versatility that they bring. That's a lot of reading right there. But Clint, what are your thoughts on Andrew Friedman's statement? I think what really stands out is the comment about Miguel Vargas at second base. But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, I think Andrew continues to be a master of saying a lot of words and not really giving much information. He is probably the best in the business at doing that. But, I mean, saying all the right things. We know this is what they have right now. We've heard all offseason, hey, Miguel Vargas is at Dodger Stadium a lot. He's working out at second base a lot. We kind of figured with the year Max Muncy had last year, it makes a lot of sense for him to be the guy there at third base. You feel pretty good about locking in Freddie Freeman, so you don't even need to mention that. But was there any massive takeaways from you with Andy's little Andy F statement here?
I mean, coming from his mouth, it really makes you think that, wow, this could be real. You could have Miguel Vargas and Gavin Lux as your keystone combination, and that's
scary,
a lot
man.
of youth. And
Very different infield, very different field.
And you don't want them you want them to be able to play that position. And you look at Miguel Vargas, a guy who's worked a lot this offseason playing second base. You saw him before games last year working out at second base. He has played 28 games at second base in his career. But I think that really is the biggest question for Miguel Vargas is where does he fit in defensively? We know Max Muncy, he says that second base is his favorite position to play. He likes the way he reads the ball off the bat. But from a mobility standpoint, does he have the foot speed, the athleticism to play second base in this band restriction world we're going to be living in next season? So it's a lot of uncertainty with that. And I think the big development here is the trade for Miguel Rojas, because Rojas really is that Band-Aid where if it doesn't work out for Vargas or if he's not producing at the plate, same thing with Gavin Lux. If he can't handle his natural position where he came up, do you plug Rojas in there? And then the question is, how healthy is he when you consider the fact he just had another wrist surgery? But what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think with Rojas, it's definitely it is the ultimate Band-Aid. It is, if something goes wrong, you go to him. Or I also think if you have a pitch to contact kind of hurler on the bump, let's say Clayton Kershaw, even though he can still get his Ks, I think we see Miggy Rowe starting at 2B whenever Kershaw's on the bump, just to kind of secure a little more defense up the middle. Unless, Vargas has really made strides this offseason, it's kind of tough to imagine him getting, the lion's share. I mean, he will get the lion's share, but getting starting 7 days a week, it's not going to happen. He can earn his way into that. But, they're in a good position to, if Vargas doesn't work out, they have Rojas there to be the Band-Aid, to be the backup guy. But there's also the Michael Busch factor, somebody you mentioned earlier before we went on the air. He's a dude, they say the bat is ready. Didn't have the greatest year at AAA. He's still very good, still very highly touted prospect. So if Vargas works, Michael Busch, immediate trade bait for sure. He already kind of there. But if Vargas doesn't work out and has to get sent back down, Michael Busch is kind of your Vargas 2.0 opportunity there. But all things considered, you go out, you lose JT, you go out, lose Trey T. You're in a pretty good position to still enter the season, kind of assess where you're at with this roster, with this infield, and see what happens come trade deadline, what's available, or even a couple months in. I see Cody's got something for us.
It's a special day here at Dodgers Nation. We got 4 super chats. Woo! 4 super chats. I'll read off.
Let's go.
I'll get back to that first one, but we'll go to MH, who had 2 super chats for $49.99, almost 50. He gave us $100 pretty much.
Legend.
In super chats. The first one said, "Happy B-Day, D-Mac." Yeah. The second one says, "For Shohei Ohtani."
Put in the piggy bank. Put in the Shohei piggy bank.
Put it in the piggy bank. Appreciate that. And then Doom Sal gave us $20, and he said, "Happy birthday, D-Mac."
Damn.
Another legendary super chat, and then the first super chat we got was from LDBC's Most Wanted. He said for $4.99. Thank you again.
Thank
he
you.
says, "What up, fellas? How would huge would it be if James Outman can become MVP caliber Cody Bellinger? You guys think Pepio can become a starter this year?"
Hey,
Wow.
that's a lot of shoes for you, Doug. I'm just saying.
Holy crap!
that's a lot,
And,
yeah.
sorry to interrupt. Another $50.
really?
Another
What
$50 from MH. He says Dodgers for life.
Dodgers Nation, faux live. Guys, my Venmo's also at Doug K, my OnlyFans.
No.
Yeah, but
That's-
hey, appreciate it, guys.
that is
Honestly, that
awesome,
means
man.
a lot, man, because you guys are the reason why I do this thing. We know that I'm the man of the fans of your show. I'm just hosting it. But it means a lot because really, all that is going to go towards Shohei Ohtani's $600 million contract next year. So we're definitely crowdsourcing it, and it means a lot. So yeah, appreciate you guys
Really
always
appreciate that,
rock
man.
with us.
I mean,
Mando.
you know what? We need like a wall of fame for the legends of the stream, and I think MH is right up there right now. We got some incredible fans, incredible friends. So I like what where Dave said we gotta do a toast. So let's
do a toast. Yes,
there it is.
the best fans in the land.
Water and Monster.
Dodgers
Hit
Nation.
him with the gritty.
You can't see the feet, but the feet are on point. But guys, yeah, you guys are the best.
If you're listening to this, you got to watch on YouTube. Make sure hit that subscribe button on that button so people know to hit that subscribe in real life and bell and all the other things. But whatever I said before all that, what do you think?
Yeah, no,
I was talking a lot about the Michael Busch factor. Like there's sort of there you have your Miguel Rojas Band-Aid, like you called it, and I like that. I mean, I'm sure he doesn't like the terminology, but Andrew Friedman said, I mean, in reality, yeah, he's kind of going to be the utility guy. I don't think we see very much like Chris Taylor in the infield, like I think we mentioned last week, but you have a backup Miguel Vargas with Michael Busch in a way.
I mean, when you look at the fact that this team has World Series aspirations, you're going to put a keystone combination of a Miguel Vargas and a Gavin Lux when you need more range and more athleticism at those positions. I just don't see that for the entire year. I think what's going to come down to is, does the bat justify the position defensively? If he's raking, if he's hitting 270 and he's hitting bombs and he's projecting towards that direction, I think you like it. But Michael Busch is a very interesting name that I personally don't believe gets discussed enough because he's 25 years old. He's right at the doorstep. He's done nothing but rake at the minor league level. Last year in the top two levels, he had 32, 70 extra base hits, 38 doubles, 32 bombs. He's a guy that's proven that he can rake at that level, and I think he just needs an opportunity. To me, he's like the Ringo of the Dodgers prospects, the guy, the outcast. No one talks about him enough, and yes, he does strike out a lot, 26% strikeout rate, but a very impressive 12% walk rate, hits the ball to all fields. He has played first base, second base, and the outfield, and it's really just a fit issue with Michael Busch, but clearly they like Miguel Vargas' potential more than Busch, but I think Busch is a guy easily, he could give you 25 plus home runs, hit close to 260 and 270. It's just a matter of him getting those reps. So yeah, it just doesn't seem like the organization loves him, and he's the guy that could be one of those first premium prospects that they could deal in a potential trade.
Yeah, if they need to fill out some spots in the outfield and all that. I want to get your opinion or your thoughts on this. So, you hear from folks every once in a while. You can kind of, deduce under your own cognitive ability as well. The kind of the pitching class at AAA, obviously not MLB quality all the time. Usually it's maybe not even AA quality. You see a lot of guys, especially the Dodgers a lot, bounce guys from AA up to MLB. When you're seeing dudes rake at AAA, a very hitter friendly league, you got guys who can't really always get the job done. Maybe like 4A dudes, 4A hitters, even pitchers who They can't excel in the big leagues, but they crush AAA pitching. Because this is something where we're seeing Vargas, we're seeing Busch really rake against AAA hitters, and maybe it's like you hope they can translate. I don't know. Is there any concern? Do you think that's something?
I mean, there's always a concern. I mean, we thought Cole Calhoun was going to be a future All-Star, right? I mean, there's guys that you see.
Give me some Joe Adele love.
Yeah, I mean, there's always guys.
Hashtag Halos today.
And then look at what happened in 2019. I mean, Gavin Lux, he emerged as the top prospects because you really had a juice ball down there, and everyone's statistics were inflated. So you just never know until a guy gets the opportunity. And some swings just lend themselves more for big league success. Some guys that are able to figure out the breaking ball, some guys that are able to catch up to high velocity pitching, they're going to have more success. But I think Michael Busch, what you like about him is he does have that consistency through all levels. He's not a guy that was good in Double-A and then he fell off in Triple-A like we saw with a Jacob Meyer, someone like that. He has been able to get it done at all levels, but the issue that the Dodgers have is they usually have so much strong depth at positions like first base, where you have a Freddie Freeman who will play that position as long as he wants for that 6-year contract. And we know that first base really is Michael Busch's best position, probably Miguel Vargas' best position. We probably know Max Muncy was trending towards winning a Gold Glove at that position in 2021. But when there's so much talent and depth, it's tough to give guys the experience and opportunities they need to really realize their full potential. But I do think that one of the good things is when you play at AAA for the Dodgers, you are getting the best coach and the best talent, and you're also facing like like Cartaya told us, he faced Bobby Miller in spring training. So you're facing top pitching prospects, but you just never know, man.
They're almost better at having intra-squad games than playing the competition at AAA. Another name to mention, kind of up the middle, Mookie Betts really wants to play some second base. I don't imagine it happening just because the outfield isn't that deep. He's going to it came out last week or over the weekend. Team USA manager Mark DeRosa, D-Row, saying, you could see some Mookie Betts at second base in the WBC. There's another sort of break in case of emergency situation, playing him at second base. If you need, if somebody gets hurt also, let's say Muncy goes down, you got to put Vargas out there. Do you think there's much infield Mookie this year?
I think there's always going to be some during the middle of the summer. We know it keeps him engaged. We know it keeps him stimulated and keeps him involved. But I think you look at Mookie Betts and you say, hey, we signed this guy to a $365 million contract because he's a perennial Gold Glove, a Golden Glove, right? No, Gold Glove award winning,
championship aspired Golden Glover
outfielder. And you lose some of that value if you have him at second base. Even though second base, if you look at Fangraphs WAR, it's going to highly value that position because of how much range you have to have and the speed and agility to play that position. But I think that Mookie is comfortable in right field. I think, too, you focus on Mookie's 35 home runs last season, what he does offensively. This team goes as Mookie Betts goes. And do I really want him at second base trying to perfect that position where, yes, he came up playing that position, but he can roll out of bed and win a Gold Glove in right field? I'd rather keep him there where we know he's the best in the game. Gold Glove, Gold Glove. Gold Glove. Or, at the very least, you move him to center field where he's a premium center fielder as well. But I do think he will get some opportunities at second base, but I think the fact that you did make that trade, like we said earlier, for Miguel Rojas, he's not going to be a Hanser Alberto. Rojas is going to play. He's not going to fade towards the end of the season. They traded for him. They took on that $5 million, so he gets some real opportunities. And also, you just have to start finding those long-term solutions. Can Gavin Lux be that long-term solution at shortstop? Can he hold it down defensively? If he could, that would save this team a lot of money and really just solidify things in that infield. And then the second base spot, too. I mean, Miguel Vargas, you want to take advantage of that hit tool and his ability to produce at the plate. Well, you're going to have to give him those opportunities, too. And if you have Mookie playing second base and taking away some of those opportunities, you're not going to be able to develop that pipeline enough. So I want to see that once a year. We need that Mookie once a year where he throws the guy at third. Every year. It's ridiculous. But
there's also opportunities. I know Cody's got something real quick to button this up, and then I want to talk more on Lux for a second. But let's put together a scenario where, let's say Vargas isn't working out well at second base, but the hit tool is there. He played some left field. There's another opportunity to kind of stash him. Maybe Taylor's up the middle. You move, I don't know, you put Jason Hayward in right or Trace Thompson in right field. There, like Friedman said, there's some what he loves. Optionality. There is some the other thing, there's some utility that they can use with this team. So it's going to be a different, I guess, an exciting competition filled spring training for this team, for at least the guys that are actually going to be around. A whole bunch of them will be out for the World Baseball Classic, but we throw to Cody. He's got something for us.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, noise.
Wrong mic.
You're number 4.
We're going to go back to the first super chat. LDBC Most Wanted. He gave us $4.99. He said, how huge would it be if James Outman can become MVP caliber Cody Bellingers? Cody Bellinger, you guys think Pepio can become a starter this year?
That's right.
So that one, and then I'll throw you guys another question after.
Yeah, we missed that one. Wait, what was the Pepio part? I was totally listening to all of it.
Do you think Pepio could be a starter this year? And
Yes.
how huge would it be for?
I'll leave you, Outman. I'll take Pepio, even though you're the guy who just talked to him. Check it out on our YouTube channel. Subscribe while you're there. Great interview with Ryan Pepio. Appreciate his time. Check out this guy doing an interview here in studio. Dodgers top prospect Diego Cartaya. I want to talk to you guys. I haven't watched it yet. I'm saving it. I'm gonna set it for premiere. I'm gonna put on my best velour suit, and I'm just gonna plop into my home theater. Double fisting popcorn, but Ryan Pepio is going to be a very important part of this team this year. I think you could look at him as sort of being like as important as Ross Stripling was for this team in 18, in 17, in 19. Like how if one guy gets hurt, Pepio is the first dude up, and he could also be the kind of piggyback guy. Who knows? Maybe he could be the guy that Tyler Anderson was supposed to be at the start of last year. Being the piggyback guy, filling some innings. You're not going to get more than 140 innings at most out of Dustin May. You kind of need to save him a little bit if you want him in the postseason rotation. So I like Pepio. He came when he was on with us. He said the right things. He was aware his biggest issue was missing the strike zone. He was nibbling. He wasn't challenging dudes, and he's at his best. Ryan Pepio is Ryan Pepio when he's challenging hitters and in the zone and letting that nasty change work off the fastball and get some dudes out. So be high on Ryan Pepio. He's a big time dude for a while. Give me some Outman thoughts.
Yeah, when it comes to James Outman, I think the big thing is, can he, one, hold it down defensively? He definitely has the athleticism to play the position. I think for him, it's, can he be consistent enough at the plate to where you can keep in center field? Because he did struggle with strikeouts. He also struggled against breaking pitches. And can he figure out that spin at the big league level? But I do think that James Outman, I don't know about being an MVP. James, you can't strike me out, man, or anything like that. But I think the goal for James Outman just has to be, can I prove myself to be an everyday big league player for this Dodgers team? And if he can do that, that's going to go a long way for this team to really fortify that outfield. But I still think that this Dodger team, they have their eyes on a couple center fielders out there, a couple outfielders out there, because you address the Miguel Rojas situation with an infielder. I think they still plan on bringing in another outfielder, but we'll see, because that strikeout rate was sky high for Outman, but he's a guy that hits the ball hard. I think his swing is going to translate to the big league level. Defensively, I don't think he's going to allow struggling at the plate affect his defense. He's going to go out there and play hard. So he's going to get an opportunity. I just wonder how big of an opportunity. It's not like he's going to get that Miguel Vargas-like runway that we're going to see, but I definitely think he has the talent to contribute in a big way.
Yeah, he'll be a big contributor, maybe a 2-3 win player. I don't see MVP in his immediate future, but if he can hit both sides, both hands, and I'm not even going to try to buy my way into it. I don't see an MVP future for the kid. Hopefully, quality major league player, maybe an Andre Ethier type player at his ceiling. But we got another one. Let's go, Cody.
We got another super chat. Scott Strong for $2. He said, "Would Angels take Miller, Bush, a combination of Miller and Bush for Shohei?"
Beers like Miller Lite and like Bush Light? No, 100% no. 1,000% no. You need to add about 6 more players to that. Couple of major league talent, major league ready players, or current big leaguers on good contracts. But yeah,
Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he's a guy who's very marketable. He's a guy that he's a great endorser, I think, for a lot of companies out there. But I think Shohei Ohtani is a guy that Perry Maniason, he's going to hang up the phone and cut the cord for a kind of deal like that.
Why is he on a corded phone?
That's how they still operate.
It's
the Angels, yeah. I mean, they're going to have to probably include the Lakers' 2 first-round picks and possibly Russell Westbrook's expiring contract. But no, I don't think that's enough to get it done. You're going to have to look at a deal similar to the Juan Soto deal, where you're looking at multiple top 5 prospects. You're probably talking about Cartaya and Bobby Miller, and then a third prospect, possibly some big league ready talent. I mean, the price of Shohei Ohtani is astronomical at the moment.
And it should be.
Absolutely.
And it's only going to get higher at the trade deadline, unless, his arm falls off.
Speaking of Cartaya, Swollen Sausage, $1.99 super chat. Thank you for the super chat, Swollen Sausage.
Yo,
them avocados.
He said, "How slow is Cartaya? No way he can play the outfield."
No.
Yeah, I mean
He's a talented kid and he could hit, but I think his future is as a backstop. You don't really want to move, plus defenders or. I mean, you're the guy who talked to him. I don't see an outfield. He's no Paul LaDuca.
Yeah.
Shout out
to Paul LaDuca, man.
Left
Doing
field,
it big.
first base, Paulie.
He was in the mix. Paul LaDuca, our guy. Yeah, I don't anticipate that at all. I think he's a guy that he's established himself as an elite catching prospect for a reason. He has struggled with blocking balls, especially balls in the dirt. His pop time, even though it is what it is, hasn't thrown out guys at an elite clip. But you want Cartaya because of what he can do at the plate. That prodigious power. He drives the ball. He lifts the ball. He hits the ball hard. But he did tell us that he did start playing third base. And he was pretty confident about him playing the hot corner. Also got some work in at first base last season. But he's another guy, too, where if his bat translates like a lot of scouts think it will, then you find a position for him. The most important thing is not him playing catcher, first, or third, or outfield. It's him being in that batter's box. So as long as he can find a way to continue to hit and progress offensively, I think he'll find a position defensively. But mobility-wise, he doesn't seem like the guy that you're going to see profile as a guy that has that versatility.
Yeah, you've seen this. I mean, you've seen this in the past a lot in baseball. I mean, Victor Martinez was a big-time guy. Came up as a catcher, pretty good catcher, not great. Pretty much became a full-time DH, played a little bit of first. Carlos Santana pretty much moved to first base after tearing up his knee in his second season with Cleveland after the big Casey Blake trade back in 2008. Still one of the ones that sort of got away for Ned Coletti. But, you don't need to stay there. If you can hit, you're going to play wherever the hell they need you, or you can find a way on the roster. And if he can find a way to turn himself into some sort of serviceable third baseman, that's just that vastly improves his potential of staying in Dodger blue.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we know that if you're going to play in this organization, if you want to stick, if you want to provide as much value, you learn to play other positions. You learn to, at the very least, play at a competent big league level. But I think if there is another position for Cartaya, it's absolutely first base. We saw Mike Piazza, of course, playing first base late in his career. He's not going to be a guy that's going to vie for Gold Gloves. But like I said, you want him for what he can do with the bat. And I think it also comes down to how invested are the Dodgers in Will Smith. You talk about a possible extension, and you also talk about that designated hitter spot. Do they get a Shohei Ohtani? What does that do for the DH spot? Because you got to leave that open for Shohei. And if you have Will Smith and Diego Cartaya in the same lineup on the same team, I mean, it's rich people problems, right? It's a good problem to have, but it gets tricky.
I'd hate to be us, as they say. I think Richie Rich says we guarded these young players for this time now. It is time to shine. James Brown says Vargas and Outman, I believe, make the opening day roster. 100% Vargas. I'm not 100% sold yet on Outman. He very much can play his way on, but I think they'll find a way or find a reason to say he needs more, quote, seasoning in the outfield. Noah very much wants to keep Mookie in right field, so you heard it here first. James Brown wants Muncy and CT3 to bounce back. That's a hugely critical part of the success of this team and its ability to be an 88, 90 win team to a 97 win team or something like that. If those dudes can produce. Our friend Cooper Neal, I forgot to put the backdrop on, but Cooper Neal, good guy, friend of the show. Blue Heaven, best way to end a Monday. Thank you. Everybody loves Mondays. Sarah's in the stream, checking in from the 307. She's late, but she's going to opening day this year.
Yo.
Sarah Morris also gave $1 super chat. Sorry,
awesome.
If that's the same. Are you talking about Sarah Morris?
Yes.
Sarah Morris just gave us $1 super chat. Thank you,
you.
Sarah.
Woo, I'm getting some more cheese on my Whopper.
Whopper, 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 Whopper.
At BK.
Oh, Nando 390.
Not a sponsor. We can't sing.
First time anybody on the internet has ever brought this up. Did you know the only way Mike Trout gets to the playoffs is by going to Eagles games?
Oh.
Fly Eagles fly.
I thought you were about to say,
when are you going to drop a Fly Eagles fly for us? What's going on?
I thought
no, you got to right in front of the camera.
I thought you were going to say Nando was going to drop fire Dave Roberts. But we have Duncan Johns who says hire Dave Roberts.
Hire Dave. Maybe he wants another team.
Fly Eagles fly.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
He did it.
Gang, gang.
That's a man who pays his bets, and I respect that. Yeah.
He didn't wear my hat. Racist.
We got Scott who says Dodgers won't get Ohtani in free agency. Price is too high. Need to trade and use exclusive negotiation period to convince him. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the train I've been on too, is that you definitely benefit from that, and that's why you would be willing to part ways with some of those top prospects and really gut your farm system. But yeah, I think we're still a ways away for some clarity with the Shohei Ohtani situation. I think you're going to let the dust settle with Artie Moreno choosing to not pursue to sell the team, and we'll figure things out. So we got Buy Dave Roberts some fire extinguishers. That's from Ice Queen 7. We got Mike Saldana over on YouTube who says, we will win 85 games. CT3 will end up on bench, and Muncy will hit 30 bombs, but hit 200. Interesting. I like those. I like the specific takes. I respect that. I mean, 30 bombs out of Muncy, even with the 200 batting average, with this lineup, you actually probably would take that based on after last season, because you're going to see those walks in there too.
Yeah.
CT3 will end up on the bench. I mean, he has to improve for sure. And I'm excited to see what a healthy CT3 does this season, but I digress.
You see him a lot in left field. Ryan says Gavin Lux will have a great year, and that is a good jumping back in point, because I said I wanted to talk about Gavin Lux. So for Andrew Friedman, in his talk, did focus about his shortstop, Mr. Gavin Lux, good friend of ours. In part of the greater conversation about all the younger dudes that are going to be helping Vargas types, and of course Muncy staying around and all that kind of stuff. The quote was, but some of these guys are going to be big parts of what we do in LA, and I think Gavin Lux is a great example of that. He came up as a shortstop, extremely highly touted, and last year we got to see how dynamic of a player he was. He was really having a good year, and noted something they mentioned last year, how important Freddie Freeman was to Gavin Lux's growth as a major league hitter last year. Because you want to learn from a left-handed hitter, somebody is a league MVP when you can, like Mr. Freddie Freeman. But he noted the injury very much set him back. So what we saw from most of first half Gavin Lux might be the truth, and second half was just an anomaly in that he was coming back from a little bevy of various nagging injuries, and he's going back to his home position. There's a lot. The stock is on the rise, man, to the moon for Gavin Lux. But he says, so we're excited about Luxy. We think he's going to be the middle of a lot of things for us going forward. And there's a lot to read there. Middle of the lineup, middle of the diamond. Thoughts on Lux? Give us some more thoughts on Lux.
Yeah, I think the big thing with Gavin Lux next season is how does he juggle continuing to progress as a hitter, and also can I really be an everyday shortstop at the big league level? Because look, yes, he did have an above average season last year. He really was consistent early on. You saw him improve against breaking balls. You saw that bat speed that he's flashed. But I mean, last few months of the season, he really struggled. He had a 405 OPS and 37 at bats in September. Had a 308. OPS in October, even August really didn't fare very well as well. So I think for Gavin Lux is, how does a healthy Gavin Lux look at the plate? Does he add a little slug? I mean, will slug be in the air next year for Gavin Lux? I think that is the big thing for me. And will he continue to prove his doubters wrong? And there's people that are out there saying, oh, he wasn't justifiably that top prospect in baseball, that he was a juice ball merchant from 2019. Ooh. But I believe in Gavin Lux, and I think that this organization fully backing him, I think that's really important as well. I'm not saying this is a make or break season for Lux, because he still is an incredibly young player, but I think if he shows early on that defensively he's not overthrowing balls. Remember, this is a guy that dealt with the yips early on in his career, and you're going in his arm, it's a little below average of an arm, but he plays the position with a lot of physicality. He's strong. I think he's a guy that wants to go out there and show that he can get it done with the glove. But at the same token, it's like I would have rather have him had a healthy season last year where he's completely certified at the plate with the stick, and then you learn to be an everyday shortstop. Whereas next year he still is trying to figure things out to be a consistent hitter and figure things out. So there's a lot of pressure on Gavin Lux and just a lot of expectations for him next season. So my big question is, how does he handle it?
Yeah, and another one of the things that Friedman kind of alluded to or mentioned is like he kind of rushed his way back from that injury, which does not play well, and especially somebody like Lux, who can get into his head from time to time. I could see it affecting him. I could see him trying to rush back, not immediately getting the results, start to get into a bad habit. So he's been through enough to you said it's not really a make or break year. In a way it is, because this is a make or break year in whether or not you're going to be a star in this league. You're going to be a bona fide true starter, or you're going to be a CT3 guy who can sort of bounce around, probably play for a lot of different clubs potentially in the future. You know, this is a very important year because this is year 5 of big league time, at least. Not obviously 5 years straight, but
yeah. And I think you bring up an important point there, Clint. I think Clint's counting.
Hey, you're 5.
You're 5. But yeah, I think you bring up an important point there. How does he handle it mentally? How does he handle this transition? Because let's be honest, these are big shoes to fill. You go from Corey Seager to Trey Turner to Gavin Lux. Look what we saw in Houston. You go from Carlos Correa to Jeremy Pena. Will he be more of a Pena guy? I'm not saying he's going to win World Series MVP or anything like that, but can he truly emerge as the star that we all thought he was capable of being back when he stepped onto the scene? I mean, youngest Dodger, hits a home run already in that Nationals series back in 2019. So he's a guy that I think is built for this, but we're going to have to see. And also I want to know too is how does he handle, is it going to be a competition with Miguel Rojas? Is Rojas just there to kind of mentor him? Is he going to be hot on his heels? And to me, I think Gavin Lux is a guy that could benefit from the competition element, but I want to see it more as if you truly believe he's the guy, have Miguel Rojas nurture him and really give him that tutelage, give him that confidence, and really show him how to play that position at the big league level. But yeah, I'd be lying to you if I didn't have my doubts at times, knowing that you have that inexperience and on a World Series aspirations, the club.
Yeah. Miguel Rojas in an interview, with his John Boy podcast, he mentioned Miguel Vargas called him. He reached out to him. He's like, hey, I want to work. I need some help on defense around the diamond. Miguel Rojas is the dude you want to talk to about that. I'd love to hear about Gavin Lux calling this dude and be like, hey, I need to be like a beast at short like you. Can we work on some things? Can you help me? Can you give me some tips? All that kind of stuff. We don't know if that's happening, but still, could be. But anyways, that's a whole bunch of infield thoughts. If you were going to name your opening day infield starters right now, you don't need to put them in a batting order, but just who's your starting 4 around the diamond, assuming, I guess, really it's second, short, and third. We already know. Just say it. I want to say it out loud. Give me your infield.
Yeah, I think, look, if Miguel Rojas was healthy, maybe you see him at short. Maybe you see Gavin Lux back at second base, Freddie at first, and Max Muncy at third. But I think the way it's trending, you look at that outfield, the way it's lined up, they want to give Miguel Vargas an opportunity early on. I do think you're probably going to see him at second base as it stands right now with Freddie at first, Lux at short, and Muncy at third. But something tells me that we have such a long way to go. I think they are going to make some tweaks to this roster that I really highly doubt that's your opening day starting infield. So, yeah, I still think that they're going to make some changes. So we'll see.
I want to see that on Instagram tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean...
Moving on, let's get into some comments here. Doom_Sal says spring training meetup with Dodgers Nation this year.
Let's go.
Where are we going to meet up?
Hey.
I mean, we're going to be pretty close to Top Golf over there by like Glendale. You guys like golf?
Let's golf it up.
You ever seen a grown man naked? Swelling Sausage says, please don't trade Bobby Miller. He's an ace in the making. Plus stuff. I hope he's an ace. I think bullpen, it could be a thing. Ice Queen 7 says, let the kids play. They need to get the experience to prove themselves. Let's go Dodgers. 100%. You got to get experience to get better. He says XP, so you got to go gain your experience points. And then you also got to gather gold so you can trade them for wares when you go into a town.
That's how it works in Major League Baseball.
That is exactly. Sarah likes Gavin Lux's range. I mean, that is going to be plus, When we were entering the Trey Turner era, I think we all thought we were going to get a better brand of shortstop after Corey Seager left. I wasn't overly impressed. Better than I can do at shortstop, but that ain't saying much.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, his strengths are definitely his athleticism, his range, his ability to get to balls, but my question is that first time when maybe he makes a bad throw, he gets that look on his face, and then maybe has an 0-for-3 slump. And he's a guy that definitely kind of rides those waves of emotion a little bit, as all young players do. But I do think the big thing this year is just giving him all the opportunities to do that and really just giving him the confidence early on. So he definitely has the skills to get it done. Let's not forget, people are acting like he's making this dramatic pitch change. I always get people like, D-Mac, I mean, can you believe he's playing shortstop? He's a second baseman. No, he came up as a shortstop. That is his natural position. And the reality is there's not any big names out there, and the trade market for shortstops is non-existent at the moment. So they made the trade for Miguel Rojas for a reason, and I think Gavin Lux is the upside pick, but they always have that to fall back on. I think, too, that'll give Lux, take a little pressure off of Lux as well, knowing you do have that safety net of Miguel Rojas that can not only play that position, but can play it at an elite level, at a premium level. So I think that's going to help his confidence as well.
You know what's going to help our confidence? Cody.
Oh, my goodness. Holy.
Wow.
Nailed it.
We have a big super chat, a special super chat. We have Mr. Rosso Jr. 23 who donated to me last week, so thank you for that again. But he gave $100. And the message, he said, "Happy birthday, D-Mac. Go Dodgers." Thank you so much, Mr. Rosso Jr. 23.
Unbelievable.
You got to have more birthdays.
I mean, we have a birthday 365 days a year. We got the richest fans, man. I like it.
You guys are. This is.
You guys are the best, man.
This is absurdity.
I'm crying. I'm getting emotional here. It means a lot.
Freddie in Atlanta.
This is insane. I mean, thank you to MH for all the donations MH dropped. Everybody dropping something in here today that has Doom South through $20 our way, Doug's way. I mean,
man, at this point, I might just buy the Dodgers.
No, appreciate you guys. This is incredible.
team.
You guys make us all tingly in our hearts, and make our right hand a little numb here and there. So, anyways,
Mike Saldana says he must have got his stimulus.
got like that stimmy. Hey, if you guys are doing all this giving, now I'm gonna do some giving because I mentioned the last couple of weeks we have a hat to give away. Dodgers Nation teaming up with Dodgers Nation to give away a ball cap to one lucky winner who entered the game over at DodgersNation.com/giveaways, and they entered, and that winner is, drumroll, of the brand new Dodgers New Era baseball cap, just in time for FanFest, just in time for spring training, because shipping and time is a thing. Alex Kawaguchi of Stockton, California, you have won a hat. We will be reaching out to you. You have 48 hours to return the email after we send it, or if not, I'm going to throw the hat in the wood chipper and I'm going to put it on the internet, and people are going to make fun of you. But thank you for playing. Thank you for everybody who did participate in the giveaway. We got another one coming up next week, so stay tuned. Probably going to do something bigger and better because we got all the super chat money, and you don't get. I'm not going to let you keep all of that.
What, are you kidding me? It's for me, right?
It's our birthday.
Jeez.
It is our birthday. But again, appreciate you guys. Subscribe on YouTube to stay tuned for the next giveaway. It's going to be big. Maybe Doug will do it pantsless. You don't even know if he's wearing pants right now.
Hey there. Hey now.
Please keep your pants on.
New era, damn.
Speaking of getting screwed, hey, umpires, reffing and officiating has been a little sus around the league. Now, Cody, I wanted to turn the floor over to you on this a bit because if I start it, I'm going to get upset one way. If Doug starts it, he's going to get upset one way. So you get us both upset.
So obviously, I feel like this is a big topic in all of sports right now just because of the nature of...
As we see LeBron on the TV.
Yeah, LeBron is in the TV right here. This past weekend, we had two big officiating mistakes, quote unquote, whoever you're rooting for. So the first one was on Friday night. If you're a big Lakers fan, subscribe to Lakers 248. Thank you very much. Also, LeBron had a huge non-call at the end of regulation that should have been called a foul, and that could have possibly gotten the Lakers the win. And then on Championship Sunday, NFL, there were two games. And there were a lot of officiating mistakes, quote unquote, yet again. Yeah. I'm not going to say that they were mistakes or not mistakes. That is for you guys.
I say mistake, somebody not throwing a flag in time. But anyways.
I feel like this sparks the conversation for the MLB is definitely ahead in the sense that Robo Umps are coming. There's going to be an automated strike zone system.
In AAA.
In AAA. And obviously they're hinting towards, moving it towards the majors eventually. But I wanted to ask you guys about this just because of the mistakes that were happening in officiating. Do you want Robo Umps now? Because the whole situation is, a lot of it is human bias, a lot of human error. If you take Robo Umps, you take robot officiating, it obviously eliminates all the human errors, all the human bias, and all the human mistakes. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that.
We go first?
I mean,
The
I'm
big
very
dog.
It's a big conversation, obviously, because
special day here. I really
It's
want
a
to hear Doug's
spec-
take because I just want to yell at you after the fact.
Look, I mean, it's no secret. There's been more missed calls, more drop calls than AT&T in the last few years with Major League Baseball. The umpiring has been atrocious, and I think when you look at it, I'm a little conflicted. I'll be honest, I am a little conflicted because, yes, the human element, it does make the game a little more interesting, but at the same token, the human element that I care about is the athletes, and I didn't pay all my super chat money to go watch umpires umpire a game. I paid them to make the right calls, and the reality is that more often than not, they're wrong in key situations. So am I in favor of robo-umping? I am, although I could get behind the idea of maybe having a challenge situation just to kind of warm it up. But, I mean, just look at tennis. I mean, in tennis, they've had it since the 70s, really, when they started, ruling out the line judges, and it works in tennis. I think it could work in Major League Baseball. And, look, you can't bribe a robo-ump, so look like the Padres did in the NLDS. And also, look, I mean, I just think the thing is, too, look, I do the breakdowns. You know, I do all the breakdowns. I mean, I mean,
you're the originator of all breakdowns.
Yeah,
on the
I mean,
internet.
right. I mean, yeah, exactly. John Boy, the shout out. But no, I mean, look. Will the robo-umps have an eject button on them? I mean, how will they be able to eject managers if they come out and yell at them? I think that we will. I mean, think about Tommy Lasorda, all those fiery incidents and this and that. You definitely like that about Major League Baseball. But at the end of the day, you want to get the calls right. And I think that it's going to make the game go smoother. Also, you want to see progress. And I also think, too, we talk about a catcher like Diego Cartaya. How would Diego Cartaya, a guy that's working on his framing, benefit from an automated strike zone? So it's going to take some of the value off of catchers that are good at framing too. So it's a really nuanced issue, but at the end of the day, I am for it, but I would like to see a robo-umping situation with challenges before we go full-blown robo-ump.
I never want to see full-blown robo-ump. I was thinking more about this because I know robo-umps are coming to AAA this year, and it's going to be a pretty seismic change. You know, obviously they keep stepping things up through the minor leagues to see if it makes sense in Major League Baseball. And so far, it seems like everything kind of has. You know, we had one version of the pitch clock, didn't really bother anybody. I think that the bigger bases are going to be stupid for a while next year. The band shift, it's like, I'm indifferent about that. I'd rather just, leave base. If a team is taking that much time to scout and whatever, put that effort into getting that much of an advantage over their team, I would prefer that, leave it alone. But anyways, the problem at hand, or the question at hand, or the topic at hand, I agree with you on challenges, and I think it needs to be quick and seamless. I think umpires need to have the Jose Altuve buzzer or vibrating butt plug up their butts to make sure it's. We saw in one of the leagues, like, they or some viral video a couple months ago. It's like, hey, I'm challenging that call, like a quick tap, but there also kind of needs to be a limit, and that's hard because you shouldn't be able to challenge everything. There on balls and strikes, there is excitement about a missed call or whatever. Like, it does change the game. It makes it more, I don't know about provocative, but it makes it more enticing. It's exciting to be able to see everybody getting together on social media and yelling about stuff. That's fun. I would prefer a game be called right, but you know what? That's boring.
Yeah, I mean, look, baseball has been a successful sport in a lot of ways because of all the things that happen in between the play, right? I mean, it's kind of a soap opera at times. It gives some people something to complain about, something to yell about. And look, as long as the robot doesn't have an Angel Hernandez setting, I'm okay with that. And I definitely wanted to see it as a part of the game. But I think you do definitely lose something when you lose that human element. I mean, when you watch a game and you really watch for the first inning, you see how this umpire has established that strike zone, how it's changed. And I think that really a good team, they understand, like, okay, well, hopefully they're consistent. I mean, they're consistent on both sides. But also I want to point out, too, I mean, there's a lot of people in this world, as long as you get the very best umpires. I think the issue I have is Major League Baseball basically not taking basically accountability for these umpires that don't do a good job. I mean, just look at Game 2 of the World Series. Pat Hoberg had a perfect game. And if one guy can do it, the other guys out there can. So I think that you really, when it comes to positioning, there's a lot of elements in the game that, look, I mean, some people talked about maybe having the umpire in front of the catcher, behind the pitcher, like it was way back in the day. I'm not saying I'm for that, but I think there's other creative solutions that you can get to before going full-blown Terminator 2 Robo Ump action. Although, like I said, I definitely think that you should get a certain amount of challenges during the game. And then also, too, I think that when you evaluate these umpires, you use that same technology. So, yeah, like I said, I'm not quite there yet, but it definitely is something that Major League Baseball has to address because you've made all these other changes. So that really is kind of the last thing they need to perfect.
There are also just so many changes, and people hate changing. You get more people who send us emails or get into the DMs or get into the comments where they're complaining about all these changes happening. This is not the game I grew up playing or watching. I'm never going to watch another Dodger game again.
Yeah.
Because, Robo Umps, and then every time nobody really cares after a couple of months, change is so annoying and offensive, but then we just that becomes the new status quo. I don't know. I'm a little lost in my thoughts there because I know Cody's got something.
I got
to
actually a question for you guys. So you just talked about it. So you talked about how, I think Doug brought it up, in that first inning, you kind of figure out the ump. If in the human ump, he kind of paints the strike zones for you. If the Robo Ump were to be implemented and, it's an automated strike zone, do you really think that, I mean, obviously it will, but how big of a change do you think that would be for pitchers to kind of have to, learn to pitch in an automated zone pretty much? Do you think that changes pitching a lot, or
I mean, it shouldn't, because you want to be as a pitcher, you want to be in the zone, or you also want to be able to know when you're out of the zone. I think any pitcher would just argue for consistency. If it's going to be a wide zone, keep it a wide zone. If it's going to be a tight zone, keep it that way. And teams will say, hey, let's keep it as even as possible as well. I mean, those are my thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think that absolutely is going to be a big adjustment for all players, hitters and pitchers. But I think specifically for the Dodgers, they're one of the best in the game at not expanding the strike zone at their plate discipline. So they're impacted heavily by these missed calls that are on the block, these borderline strikes and balls. And you train these hitters to not chase outside of the zone. But when they're calling that as a strike, it really hurts the Dodgers. It hurt them multiple times in the NLDS against the Padres, if you look at some of the at-bats that they had. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, everyone wants to just get it right. And like I said, you didn't pay $35, $50, $100 to go watch an umpire a game. And sometimes you definitely get that vibe when you see Angel Hernandez, oh, you guys came to watch me. No, I came to watch world-class athletes. I came to watch Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. And
Or like the Laker game we were talking about, how this opened. Braun should have gotten a foul. It should have made a difference. He makes a couple free throws. You got a different ball game. You got a different outcome. If it's a call that completely changes the complexion of a game, you need to be able to challenge it in some way. And officiating, the officials in all leagues need to be held more accountable, whether that's zapping butt plug. I'm going to go back to the butt plugs, or fines, heavy fines or something like that. If they're more held accountable and not just protected by their unions, then something more substantial can come out of it. Maybe they want to get better. Maybe they do their homework and sit up in the hotel room at night watching more games or whatever. We could have more Pat Hobergs and fewer Angel Hernandez.
Absolutely. Yeah, if the players want this, then I'm all for it. I want what the players want in this situation. It is their game. They're the game they have to play. But the same token, it's it is a slippery slope. It's okay, we're going to have robotic players now. Just watch MLB The Show simulated games. Or we're going to have robot podcasters now. We're going to have a robot producer in Cody. I mean, it's a slippery slope. But I do think that at the end of the day, it's going to benefit the game. It's been long overdue. I mentioned the tennis example. I mean, they're working on that in the 50s, and I kind of like seeing the replay of the tennis ball when you see it on the line, and there is no debate, and you still have someone sitting up there on that chair. It's like a lifeguard chair in the middle of the tennis court or whatever the hell that is.
You really want to go the tennis route, don't you?
I do. I kind of want to. I mean, I can imagine when we watch the replay and they show the replay in the everything, and we're like, okay, that was clearly, and I do the screenshot and this and that. But really one of the issues too is how inaccurate television is in showing the automated strike zone, how that throws people off. And that when you screenshot that, you look at how the strike zone is established, that really is what really pisses people off. But at the end of the day, like I said, it really definitely impacts the Dodgers more than any team out there because of how they're trained.
We watch them.
We watch them, and also, I mean, look at these pitches. I mean, the Max Muncies, I mean, Justin Turner, I mean, their uncanny ability to lay out pitches that are right outside of the zone. If that's going for a ball every single time, the Dodgers' walk rates are going to go up. They're going to get more men on base. They're going to score more runs. But also would love to ask someone like Austin Barnes, hey, AB, you just signed that nice little extension. One of the reasons why you're able to get that strike zone at the bottom of the zone.
I imagine the union, the players' union, does not want robot umps because that is a critical part of MLB catchers being able to get some more money in that pocket.
Yeah, no, for sure. My theory I had for a while, Clint, was that Angel Hernandez owned the Robo Ump technology, and that's why he intentionally umpires so poorly because he wants that to become the standard. That's my tinfoil theory of the week. But we got some
really good comments.
Really good comments here.
Check them right here in between us.
Oh wow! Look at this, guys.
Great,
look, we're getting robot. Oh, that's not even that. We got ice. We got
Ice Queen.
We got the Ice Queen who says, "What if the Astros implement the cheat virus to corrupt the Robo's strike zone?" I like that.
That's actually what I was thinking.
Thanks
what
again.
if somebody hacks
they
into the
will.
Robo Umps?
They will. Yeah.
Like the Dodgers are gonna hire. Sorry, not the Dodgers because we don't cheat. Astros. What if they hire somebody to hack the system?
Codebreaker 2.0.
Codebreaker, yeah. I mean,
Sarah says, I think Robo Umps will help the pitchers. I mean, again, if you get into the consistency, yeah, it's absolutely going to benefit a pitcher because major league pitchers, unlike AAA pitchers, should be able to mostly hit their spots at will, which is the catcher of the Dodgers. A lot of people are very concerned about the, getting away from fights with umpires and all that. It says, who will managers cuss at? Ray asked that. People, there is Angel Hernandez's greatest show in baseball, man. There is something to.
But we know way too many umpires' names, and that is an issue. We shouldn't know any of their names. Yeah. None of them.
A whole bunch of them are retired.
They are.
Yeah, like 10 of them.
Yeah, Joe West is out. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are gone. I love you, whoever asked this, but I disagree with this take more than any tape I've ever seen on the show. Angel Hernandez is the greatest umpire in Major League Baseball.
Greatest show on earth.
LOL.
I like Jet Blackberry. Gabe Kapler getting all hot and bothered with the umpires is pretty exciting, though. Yeah, we'll see fewer of that.
That roid rage flares up.
We don't see that many, Bobby Coxes anymore anyway.
That's true. That you really haven't seen that element of the game. Too many nice guys. Yeah. Too many nice guy managers. Yeah, we need them to go out. Yeah, I'm waiting for the first time that a robot ejects. I mean, like I said, do they have an ejector button where they have like a red siren goes off where a manager gets ejected? I mean, it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes because it definitely feels like they're heading in that direction. But it does feel like, Clint, it's one of those situations where you're like, kind of be careful what you wish for. Because, like you said, what makes baseball really special is all the mundane things that happen in the course of a season. It's not like the NFL where you blink and the season's over. There's a lot of things that happen in between games that are the most discussed parts of a game. So, I don't know. I kind of like the old umpire kicking the dirt all around, the Sparky Anderson types.
One of the worst things that ever happened to baseball was them putting that little box on the TV.
Exactly.
Because then everybody's like, oh, these umpires are terrible. Yeah, I mean, maybe, probably. They're probably as bad as they were back in the day. As long as they're not Little League umps where it's like 14 feet outside. And they're like, yeah. Kids throwing their shit on the ground. Hell yeah. But it's going to be a fun, exciting year of MLB umpires getting their possibly last opportunity to not have a buzzer up there. So I'm really going. That's where Rob Manfred owes us this.
He absolutely does.
All right, we're doing what we usually do. Yeah, it was supposed to be a nice tight show. We're having a good time. People giving Doug all this great birthday money. So if you haven't yet, go ahead and feel free.
Let's go.
Super chat on YouTube.
Making a bid for the Angels. They're still for
sale? No, you got to go to halostoday.com to find out more about that. We wanted to talk today a little bit about opening day starter because why not? Really, there are two natural options for the Los Angeles Dodgers. I know earlier today we ran a poll on our Dodgers Nation Twitter. It's really between Clayton Kershaw, Julio Urias. The fans, 65.1% as of right now, nearly 3,000 votes. Got 17 hours left as of the time we are live. want Julio. 65% of fans want Julio. I think you're on the Julio side of things, aren't you? Or are you more of a Kershaw opening day?
I'm actually on the Kershaw. I'm Kershaw. Kershaw. Yeah. I mean, there is no wrong answer. There is no wrong answer, really, because last year we saw them essentially pass the torch to Walker Buehler, who was the opening day starter. And that's what I was saying is, look, it's almost like there's the Madden curse. You have the Dodgers opening day starter curse. We saw what happened in 2021 with last year with Walker Buehler in 2022. He ends up getting TJ 2021. Clayton Kershaw opening day starter. We saw how his season ends. But I think the big thing for me with Clayton Kershaw is that you have to give him his roses, and we don't know if it's going to be a farewell tour. But just one last time, I want to know, because Clint, it's a home game. It's April 30th, 7:30.
March
30th. Sorry, March 30th. Arizona Diamondbacks at home. Just one last time, I want to hashtag Kershaw Day on opening day. Look, it just doesn't mean that, because he's an opening day starter, he's the best pitcher on the team. He's the ace of the staff. We know at this point, Julio Urias is the best starting pitcher on the Dodgers, but Clayton Kershaw is still one of the top 15 pitchers in the league when healthy, and this could be his last year in Dodger blue. He's already made 9 opening day starts. He's been fantastic on opening day.
Extend his lead, get it to 10. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of symbolism or symbolic reasons, and I guess legacy reasons why you'd want him to start for sure. Because it is a 10th time, could be his last year. If he's healthy, I think he is going to be the opening day starter. But on the other hand, Julio's kind of, like the guy now, keeps getting robbed of all-star berths, getting robbed of Cy Young love and consideration. You kind of want to make good with him as best as you can too, because this is a walk year, not only for Clayton Kershaw again, but it is for Mr. Julio Urias, who is, as they say, Scott Boras' client, and as they say, Scott Boras is kind of he likes money. He likes a lot of money.
He definitely does.
He's kind of a douche.
Yeah, you know what's funny is I was actually thinking about that on the flip side, is that, you definitely want to make him happy, Julio Urias, but on the same token, too, when you make your guy your opening day starter, you're telling the rest of the league that's the ace of the staff. And Scott Boras, he takes that and he says, Julio Urias is the ace of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Number 5 starter, let's go.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe you start Julio as number 4 or 5 back end rotation.
He's in the bullpen.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, what? He's a role player. No, but no, I think that the most important thing is, look, I'm firm. I mean, look, I remember I was one of the first guys to say that Clayton Kershaw should have started the All-Star game. And I heard all you guys on Twitter, Tony Gonsolin, the Catman, this is his year. He deserves to have it. I had the 3 Marlins fans that are on planet Earth tell me it was Sandy Alcantara to do it. But I said, no, Clayton Kershaw, he gets that one opportunity at home at Dodger Stadium. And that's what ultimately happened. I think the biggest factor, too, is Dave Roberts. And Dave Roberts realizes the gravity of the situation, how special it would be. It would be a special day at Dodger Stadium if Clayton Kershaw made that opening day start. And also, he's been fantastic in his career on opening day. A 5-1 record with a 1.88 ERA in 57 2/3 innings pitched. So he has been successful. Also, probably my favorite Dodgers moment, at least top 10 Dodgers' favorite regular season moments. It has to be that home run on opening day. I mean, that was special back in 2013. We won't
see that one again, but still.
We won't see that one again. Maybe. I mean, it was pretty awesome to see him do that off Contos, and he puts the Dodgers ahead, and it was just a virtuoso performance. So I think it really is. I think want to see Clayton Kershaw opening day one last time. We saw 2020 was supposed to start, and that back started barking was Dustin May, and there's just something different about opening day, man. You got the bunting and the outfield wall, the red, white, and blue.
But at the same, getting or expanding on the it being sort of just symbolic or whatever. It's like opening day starter, grand scheme of 162 games plus however many more in the postseason. Opening day starter doesn't mean shit. Your opening day roster doesn't mean shit. The opening day lineup don't mean nothing. I got you.
You baited me on that one. You baited me. You baited.
I disagree.
All right, you can disagree. Tell me why you disagree in the comments below.
Because, what is the biggest regular season game of the year? It's always opening day.
Jackie Robinson Day.
Oh, there's a couple of these 10-pull days. throughout the year. Of course, Jackie Robinson Day. There's so many significant days, but there's nothing like opening day. Opening day is better.
It's the best
Baseball
national
opening
holiday.
day is better than NFL's opening day. Is better than opening night in the NBA. Baseball has the best first day of their sport, and Clayton Kershaw has been a tradition. Kershaw Day on opening day, I mean, you get it to 10 to double digits. Like I said, I think Kershaw's at the point of his career where he's soaking this stuff in. He's actually embracing it a little more than he was earlier in his career.
Yes.
And like I said, we got to almost have
Just
an unofficial Kershaw farewell tour just in case.
Just in case.
Just in case he goes to the Rangers. Like I said, if we have to bring Dallas to LA so he re-signs with the Dodgers and retires a Dodger, we'll do that. But yeah, I think I want to see Clayton Kershaw. There's no slight against Julio Urias at all. Julio Urias, you guys know I dubbed him the Urias for a reason. I'm glad he is that guy. But I think it's almost situation two. Remember the 2003 All-Star game with Michael Jordan, Vince Carter. Vince Carter, he was originally supposed to be the starter, and Vince Carter said, "No, MJ, you could be the starter." I almost think it's that situation where I don't think Julio would have an ego about it. I think that if it came down to that, but also too, I mean, I don't necessarily believe this will be Kershaw's last year, but give me Kershaw on opening day.
Mike Saldana talking about that. It's I'm sure Julio won't mind giving Kershaw the nod. It's good. That's a really good point on there. You know, the same way we've heard so much about Clayton and Walker's relationship in that regard. You know, Julio's kind of right there with Walker. He's been around Kershaw longer. Sure, he was hurt and all this kind of stuff, but Julio very much understands the gravity of Clayton Kershaw and what he means to this organization, to the city, to opening day. Getting to 10 is pretty damn important. Like, yeah, if you want to win a game, it's not a bad decision. If Kershaw's healthy, like I said, I think it goes that way. He will be pitching in the World Baseball Classic. That could be a little bit of a concern. Then again, both of them will be. So I want to see Kershaw, but I wouldn't be surprised. You know, I can't lean all the way into the Julio thing because I'd just be lying to myself.
Doug's a big Christianity.
Yeah. He celebrates Christianity.
Christianity.
What is
on
that?
On the eighth day, God made Kershaw for sure. Christianity. But yeah, I mean, for sure, Bobby Miller's gonna get the nod. I mean,
Yeah,
there's no
Mr. Rasa Jr. 23 says no one Roberts. He'll have a bullpen game for the season opener.
bullpen game. Yeah.
Hell yeah,
I love
let's
that.
go. Alex Vesia starts because they're going to have a tough lefty at the top of the lineup. I don't know if they have any tough left-handed hitters there in Arizona or any tough hitters, to be honest. Or I had put in my notes Ryan Pepio because he's a two-time friend of the show. It's got to be there. If he gets the 3-time, though, when we do get him to 3-time in Arizona, I'm a little scared because I all but guarantees that he's going to be traded. That happens with everybody who's a firm friend of Blue Heaven. They get traded or they get canceled.
No one's gonna go on the show anymore. Yeah, no, but I think it's definitely gonna come. I think you know what though. I think last year though, like I said, passing the baton to Walker Buehler, Julio Urias would also be great as well. But I'm hoping we can see 5-6 years of Julio Urias as the opening day starter next season when he starts really his era with hopefully after he re-signs with the Dodgers or when he signs with the Padres.
Yeah. Mike says no way Julio leaves. I be stroking, friend of the show, says Julio deserves that payday. Grassman Lawn Care. There's your promotion. Says this will be Julio's last year. I heard in an upcoming roundtable, 100%. Fact. Julio Urias will be a Dodger in 2024.
It's the Julio Urias era.
Yes. 100%. Michael says, client, let Dougie Fresh talk. Doug talks a lot.
What?
Either way, so you're good.
Dustin May, I'm your uncle from Grassman Lawn Care. Okay, interesting.
Thank you. Josh says, congrats on your Eagles, Clint. That's right. Fly.
Eagles fly.
On our way. Oh, sorry.
I'm your uncle. Thank you, Grassman. Appreciate you, Uncle Grassman. All right, before we get out of here, appreciate you guys. Mike's down to throw it in one more time. We got Kersh, Urias, Noah Syndergaard, Dustin May, Ryan Pepio. No love for the Catman. Yikes. Also a two-time friend of the show, so he can't be on again or else he's going to get traded. All right, before we go, I wanted to just dick around, have some fun, Beep, with February bold predictions. We're about to get into February because that is on Wednesday. We got Dodger baseball less than or just over 2 weeks away from pitchers and catchers reporting. Balls are in the air, as Doug said earlier in the show, in so many words. I want a bold prediction from you in any way, shape, or form. What happens in February between now and pitchers and catchers reporting, or through the first week of games at Camelback in the Cactus League season, what do you think? Anything going down? Anything exciting?
Yeah, I think the Dodgers absolutely trade for Brian Reynolds. No, I'm just playing.
I mean, it doesn't need to be a trade.
Yeah.
It can be
breaking news.
Will Smith decides to, I don't know, go golf.
Well, I thought it very interesting.
Bold.
Then, like you told me about Ken Rosenthal, what he said, that if the right move is there, the Dodgers are going to continue to add salary. And I think that, yes, they do want to add another piece. And I've been talked a lot about Max Kepler as an option that I really like if the Dodgers want to add another outfielder that won't cost too much. The thing about Brian Reynolds is it's going to require a Sheik's ransom to get him in LA at this point. I don't think the Dodgers want to deal with that at this point when they don't know what they still have in Trayce Thompson and what they possibly could have in James Outman. But if you want to add a guy like a Max Kepler, a guy that he had 36 bombs in 2019, defensively still grades out as one of the top defenders in the outfield in the league. Also, if you look at his StatCast metrics, I mean, there's more red than a murder scene. I mean, he hits the ball hard. If you look at max exit velocity, those are the kind of things that this Dodger team looks at. Doesn't strike out a lot. The walk rate is nice. And I also think that he's a guy, too, if you look at the ban on the restriction, he's in the top 10 to 15 players that are going to benefit from that ban as well. So I know the Dodgers are considering that. I'm not saying they're going to go out there and make a trade, because I truly believe that development is something that they're completely in on. I definitely think they want to see, can Outman have a standout spring, and can he be such a significantly cheaper version of Cody Bellinger? But I do think that I don't anticipate them making a trade for another infielder. Miguel Rojas was the guy that was going to serve that role. A starting pitcher, I mean, could they go out there and get crazy and maybe a Shane Bieber or a Corbin Burns? It's still too early for those trades, because the reality is, with the expanded postseason, if you talk to people, if you read stuff, I mean, there's just not a trade market that has developed. And we know, like you always allude to, that is when Andrew Friedman likes to do his work. I mean, last year you got Freddie Freeman in March. That's when you play the Jaws theme. Yeah. Yeah, that's when he jumps in. And
that's
also
my shark fin right there.
I mean, look, I think if they could add another arm that, I mean, last year, what do we hear? They want to go closer by committee, and then when Kimbrel became available, they traded A.J. Pollock for Kimbrel deep into spring training because they wanted a clear closer's role. Liam Hendricks is a guy that we know he still has 2 years, $27 million left on his contract, has a $15 million club option at the end. Strikeout rate, 36.2% last year. Still had a really nice season, but you don't see this team paying that much of a premium for a reliever like that has started to tail off. So
yeah, plus, he's dealing with cancer right now, Hodgkin's lymphoma. That's kind of a big thing for him. It is lymphoma, right? Yeah. I know all the things going on with Liam Hendricks. Mike Saldana says add Michael Wacha. I don't see that one happening. I was gonna be bold and just dick around for the sake of being wrong. I was gonna say, like you said, they didn't sign Freddie Freeman until March last year, which is wild. Who would ever thought? I thought they could have got that done in February or January. There was a lockout. Somebody thought otherwise. It'd be really stupid. The Mookie Betts trade happened when? In February. They signed some other now DFA'd pitcher in February. Andrew Friedman loves making his moves in February, but they have been so steadfast and so consistent in saying the same thing about the roster, about the youth movement, about the kids playing a huge role this offseason. So my bold prediction is Andrew, for once, doesn't do anything major in February leading into spring training or going through the first couple of weeks. But like, barring a major injury where they need to go make some sort of move, which even if that happened, I don't think they need to go make a move, because say Will Smith gets hurt in WBC. Well, Diego Cartaya, it's going to be your time to potentially be the backup, or my boy Hamlet Marte. This guy knows what I'm talking about. If Lux gets hurt, you got Miguel Rojas. If Vargas gets hurt, you got Miguel Rojas. You got some options. So I don't think they're going to do anything.
Yeah, I in lockstep with you on that. I completely agree with you. I think if you look at this team's floor right now, the roster they have assembled, they are easily going to roll out of bed and win 90-plus games, in my opinion. It's just about taking that next step and going to that other tier. And I think, too, you don't want to ship off you don't want to trade in all your chips. You don't want to cash in on your chips when it's Shohei Ohtani, even if there's a slim chance that he becomes available, or some better players that are out there, and the prospect capital that would require to pull off a Brian Reynolds trade, who, yes, he definitely did request a trade. He's a guy who's still under team control for 3 years. I don't think the Dodgers love that flexibility. I think the Dodgers realize that if they want to go big on a guy, they have to go big. And I think that you have all these great prospects that you can cash in. Imagine if they traded for Brian Reynolds and they gave up 3 of their top 5 prospects, only to see Shohei Ohtani get traded for a similar deal during the midseason. Because we know that they can coast along until they get to that trade deadline and then possibly make their move. Now, the risk of that is that you have more teams that are involved because they have the expanded postseason. Yeah. But at the same token, too, you have to hold on to your chips. And also, too, one thing, you have to develop that young talent, see what you have. So I'm with you on that. I think another bold prediction would just be that I think that Dustin May is going to look really good early on. I think that
handsome man, yeah.
I think D May is going to look fantastic on the mound with the man with the mane, D Mania. And I think that he's a guy that is going to look more like a number 3 starter than one of the back end guys they have right now. So yeah,
this will definitely be the year of Dustin Mania potentially. Good stuff. I decided I'm going to change my bold prediction. Is I'm going to go with Boomer Assassin on this. They're going to fire Julia Roberts. No longer associated with the Dodgers organization. Julia Roberts,
not Julia,
fired.
Wow. Julia Roberts. So no Pretty Woman 2? I was looking for that sequel.
It ain't gonna be here. Guys, we appreciate another fun stream. Thank you for hanging out with us. Thank you so much for all of the birthday love and shout outs to our guy DMac_LA. Means a whole lot
guys.
to us
Appreciate
whenever you guys give, because we know it's tough for anybody to give anything these days, and it's very heartwarming. Till then, find us on the internet, DodgersNation.com. You can subscribe to us everywhere on the internet. You already see the thing doing it. It's telling you hit the bell, leave a thumbs up, leave a like, leave a comment to hack into your grandma's account. Leave a comment. Download us on your TV if that's even a thing. DodgersNation.com, like I already said. We are on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Play, everywhere your podcasts are available for free. Go there. Again, follow this guy, DMac_LA, Twitter and Instagram. I am RealFRG on Twitter and Instagram. We are Dodgers Nation, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all those spots. Subscribe to all of them. Give us more followers. Makes Gary happy. Maybe one day you guys will see Gary again. Maybe. It's been a while. 3 times. Gary's been traded.
Oh, no.
All right, guys.
He's a victim.
We'll see you at FanFest. Bye.